Hello everybody and welcome to Parks Bros. It's Drew here, and if you haven't heard the news, it is kind of official now that Green Lantern First Flight is closing forever at Six Flags Magic Mountain. Now this was posted on Screamscape, and apparently the PR representative for the park has stated that Green Lantern will never reopen, at least at Magic Mountain. But this comes from Sue Carpenter, who is the person to talk to about something like this, at least through the media and public relations. But this is pretty crazy stuff to think that this coaster opened in 2011 for the 40th anniversary of the park is now never going to open at the park it was originally placed. This is kind of big. It really is. That means West Coast Racers will no longer be the 20th coaster for Magic Mountain. So the 20th coaster, I know a lot of coaster enthusiasts were kind of sad it wasn't something bigger like a Giga or some crazy record breaker. But now there's still that chance that the 20th coaster could be something huge, or it might be something small. You really never know with Magic Mountain. It really just depends on the time and what they have previously gotten, because West Coast Racers is definitely one of the biggest investments they've had since probably around Full Throttle, honestly. If not Justice League. I know Justice League was a very, very expensive ride, at least in consideration of the past 10 years or so. But this is huge news. Absolutely huge. The fact that this plot of land is looking to be emptied out for hopefully something in the near future is pretty shocking. Now, we do know that this coaster is to be removed at a later date, but it is for making room for a future development. So this could mean anything from a new restaurant to a new Giga coaster or something along those lines. It really has a giant gray area of what this could be for a replacement. Now, I'll probably make a video about a replacement in the near future, just because that's what I like to do. I like to think about the future and what a great fit for some of these parks would be in Southern California. But speaking of now, this is still a huge piece of news that has come out in the past 24 hours. This was honestly the most controversial coaster, at least at the park. Many more people hated it than loved it, but it still had its devoted fans, and still does to this day. Now, I only rode it once. I did not like it at all. I mean, if you've seen my top 5 least favorite or worst coasters video, this was my number 1 worst coaster that I've been on. So this was definitely the least enjoyable thing I have ever experienced at a park. But that's from my side of things. I only rode it once, and it closed about 2 weeks after I rode it and never reopened to the public. Now, to add on to this news of its closure, we saw something very interesting that we have not seen for almost 2 full years, and that is the fact that Green Lantern was testing today. Now, why would a coaster that's been closed since July of 2017 be testing randomly on the same day that it's announced that it is going to be closed and removed from the park? Well, I have a theory. I believe this coaster could be moving to a different location. Now, we're all pretty sure that this coaster is going to be closed at Magic Mountain forever and will never return to Magic Mountain because they have taken it off the website, the app, as well as this announcement on Screamscape was made. But the fact that it was testing is pretty insane, and we have this testing footage. Thank you to Instagram user YourDaddyV04. Man, that's hard to say with a straight face, but but huge thank you to him for letting us use this footage in this video of Green Lantern testing. And this is pretty crazy. Green Lantern was the only coaster of its kind in Intamin Zaxspin and in the entirety of the Americas, and the only other coasters like this are located in Europe. So this is definitely one of the rarer credits you could have gotten. But going back to my idea of it being moved to another location, there's a rumor going around that there were some executives from other parks watching the tests and looking at the tests. Now, these tests actually went on for about every 10 minutes for a couple hours or so, so that's pretty significant, but never had a rider or water dummies put into the seats. And honestly, the rumors that there were park execs there really is the only reason I could think of them starting this coaster up randomly after so long. Now, what park, you might ask? I've heard a lot of people talking about this possibly moving to Six Flags America. Is that a bad fit? No, I don't think it's a bad fit at all. I mean, Six Flags America could always use a new coaster. Now, I know they're kind of the hand-me-down park, but it's still not a bad fit at all. Now, the one park that I've actually heard tossed around less so, but has a little more juiciness to it, is La Ronde. So La Ronde is a Six Flags owned park near Montreal, Quebec, Canada, and is considered by many to be in the bottom 3 Six Flags parks. But I have heard a couple people talking about how there might have been La Ronde executives checking out Green Lantern First Flight today. So that's why I was testing. Now, can I confirm that there were La Ronde executives there? No, I've only heard these rumors. They are not entirely true, at least to my standpoint, but it would make sense. It really would. And La Ronde is kind of landlocked too, so this coaster is not nearly as big as your typical SNS 40 free spin. Those take up pretty much twice the amount of space in comparison to Green Lantern First Flight. And La Ronde doesn't really have that space to spare. So it would make sense to me them putting in something like an Intamin Zack spin at a park like La Ronde. Now La Ronde I know gets a lot of hand-me-downs as well, but this could become Canada's first ever 4D free spinning coaster. That's a pretty big marketable thing, and it seems like something Six Flags could definitely market out to the public. And La Ronde, to be honest, makes the most sense out of any other Six Flags park for this to go, because believe it or not, I think it's kind of practical, judging by how much space that park actually has to work with. Now, of course, capacity is going to be an argument against Green Lantern being put in La Ronde, but I mean, heck, it was an argument against Green Lantern being put into Magic Mountain, and Magic Mountain, I'm pretty sure, gets more guests per year compared to La Ronde. But Green Lantern First Flight looks to have had its last flight at the park, and to be honest, I'm a little sad because I did want to get another ride on it after its potential reopening sometime this year or next year. But since that seems to not be happening anymore, I'm glad I got the credit, but I'm not too glad of my experience. And I'm interested to see what you guys think is actually going on, whether it will be sent to another park or scrapped completely. Please let me know down in the comments below. I'm very interested to see your guys' thoughts. But this has been an absolutely crazy day, at least for Magic Mountain and Green Lantern, as well as many of Green Lantern's haters and lovers. But we'll just have to wait what the next year or so brings. But thank you so much for watching. Make sure to subscribe if you have not. And of course, as always, we'll see you on the next ride.